the Rancor is a 3D model. Basically, I purchased a model that someone built, and it didn't have animation to it. It wasn't rigged or anything like that. It was just a standard locked off OBJ model. And I needed it to move. I'm not very good at doing animation. I'm good at taking elements and manipulating it. I'm not great at the animation part. So what I like to do is find motion capture that already exists that I can apply to an object. So I'll give you an example of what I'm doing here. So I have this Tusken Raider that is inside the mouth of the Rancor. So let's watch this. I'm going to hit play. See how he's crawling? Okay, so you know, the goal is he's crawling and he swallows him, okay? So all I have is a Tusken Raider that is what is considered in the T pose. This is a T pose right here. Let's just refresh this. Okay, this is a T pose. So it's a partial T pose. So anyway, this is the Tusken Raider that I have. He's not animated, he's not rigged or anything. But when you use a website like Mixamo.com, you're able to go in and select where the wrists are, the elbows, the chin, the groin, and the knees. And that's what it gives you, and you just put a dot on those spots. Then you can go through this whole thing, and you can search like combat, all this great stuff. But what I wanted was a crawl, so I typed in crawl. See, I've got crawl right here, and I applied a zombie crawl. So if I double click this, watch what it does. Oh, it applies that motion to it. Okay, which is all kind of cool. You can see, you can go around and look at what it does. Now, because he's wearing this kind of like weird skirt thing, you know, it gets a little funky in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to select in place. So it doesn't leave, it just stays right there. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that inside the mouth of the Rancor. So then all you got to do is download that. And then once you're in a program like Maya, you can import that. And it imports that and it brings in all the motion capture. Watch the Tusken Raider moving like he's trying to get out. So then what I do is I go through here with keyframes and I just kind of apply it to where I think he's going to be in the mouth as the creature moves around. Right, I'm going to track him, and I'm doing the tracking manually. You can see all these keyframes down here. These are all keyframes where I have chosen to place him, and then I'm going to have him get swallowed. He lifts up, and then whoop, he goes under. And basically, if we're to see where he is right now, you can see he's inside the mouth. So watch. There he is. There he is. There he is. And down. Now I've just have him hiding inside his head. It's kind of funny. He's trying to get out. Hey, I'm being swallowed. Anyway, so in the Rancor, it's the same situation. So what's going on with the Rancor is I took a Rancor model, which I got online, and then what I do is I take that, and he's unanimated as well, and I bring him into Mixamo, and I apply a motion to him. And I think what I'm having him do is struggle or search or something or pick up something. And that's what he's doing. Now I changed a couple of the motions, so like I basically get that, but what I did was I can adjust his head to give me a final move, because let me show you my camera. So this is the actual camera. Okay. This is the shot that I use in the movie, so watch. Hey, I'm stuck. And I wanted him to look right at camera there. So that, of course, was not done in the motion of Mixamo. It didn't go there. So what I do at that point is I can go into, it gives you this rigging over here. And if you want to see it from a a far point, you can really see the chaos of what is going on. Look at this. Look at all that stuff that Mixamo gives you. It's insane. But from our perspective, we can open this and we can go into the spine, open the spine. Here's the neck. So now what I'm able to do is just, it comes with all these crazy looking points. Mixamo gives you all keyframes all through the whole thing, every frame. But what I do is I can go through there, and this is the neck, and I can erase that neck, all these keyframes, and then I'm able to do my own movement. So you can see I selected the neck, and look, I can move it how I want. So what I did was I had it do its thing, eat the guy, lift its head, and then I had him come back down. And so right there, based off of what your camera move is, you can, adjust him to get to that point. So when I go back to my camera, this is my camera, I adjust his head to look straight down at the camera to give that final roar. And by the way, that roar was done in Mixamo. It did its mouth. So I didn't even do that. It just did it right there. So that's kind of cool. And if you take a look at really what's going on, this is what I'm being given in Mixamo. It moves around, and then I put the Sandman inside the mouth and have him go down. And basically I get about 150 frames, because in Mixamo, it basically, for the movement of what I was doing, it gave me 150 frames, which is right here. It says trim 155 total frames. For the one I did, it gave me 150. So I have 150 frames to play with of what the motion capture is. If I wanted to go longer, I could do a keyframe here and have his head look up. So that would be the only thing. So watch, everything goes to 150 frames and then stops except for his neck. See? All super cool. And if you're wondering what's going on here with this globe, I like to use, so I'm in Maya, and I like to use Arnold. And basically to show you what's happening, Arnold Render, this is where I use it. I usually always apply a motion blur so it looks real. The more that you raise this, like if I raise this to 5, 4, 5, and 3, 3, 3, it just takes longer to render. It's higher quality. So if I'm in really tight, I'll do that. It'll just take sometimes 4 times, 5 times the length to render. So in here, I'm at 3.222. I am at 38. I'm doing this at 4K. So you can see I'm at 4K here. So here's what we do. You can see how he's happening inside there. And so this globe, what I do with Arnold Render, is this is what we call an HDRI lighting. And what it's doing is it's using this atmosphere of this HDRI that I have, that it's a 360 degree. Now it is not being shown, so that's something to know. If I take the camera on the visibility down to 0, you don't see it, but it is putting it in this atmosphere. And when I get a render from this, it renders it with this type of lighting, which I find to be really great. And because he's going to be in a cave, it's technically not the right lighting set, but I bring the intensity way down. So usually that's at a 1 or a 2. Right now I'm at a 0.4. And then I add some directional lights. Right here, I add some directional, which gives us some really cool shadows. And then so I can add a camera and do that. So I like to use this, and to get to do this, basically this world right here, you go up to Arnold, Lights, Sky Dome. And when you do a sky dome, it just comes in as white, Just like anything in any of these programs, the color's right here. And if you select this button next to it, it says, oh, you want it to be an image, not a color. And in here, I go in and I add my forest HDR right there. And then it creates this wonderful globe that is just giving it the atmosphere. So it's like a mere mapping of it. So then when I do a render, for me, I have a iMac Pro. To get this with this camera angle, at the settings that I just did it at 4K, it's taking about 4 minutes a frame. And I do 150 frames. So it takes quite a while to do it, but do it overnight, set it, go to bed. Wake up in the morning, and you got it. So I will show you what it does, what the final does look like. Here is our render. Basically, it comes in as, for me, it comes in as stills, and then I create a QuickTime out of it with an alpha channel, so this is clear behind it. So let's take a look. There we go. Alright, so if I let this just play by itself, you know, it's kind of a little silly and cheesy, but what I'm going to do is put it in dark. I'm going to color correct it so it's dark. It's going to be inside of a cave. They'll have the noise and the chomping and all that, but it does look like he's trying to get out, which is kind of cool. But that's the render, so you can see the render that's happening of the body and the shadows in here, and just kind of how it does look. It does have a real texture to it. So that's the final. There we go. Look at that. Yum, yum. All right, thanks a lot.